Hello, welcome back, and thank you for tuning in. We're going to have a conversation today about miracles and the holy instant. And my hope is that this will encourage you to keep going. This conversation is entirely practice centered. And for this, I'd like to thank my wife, Cindy, who proposed this topic for our conversation today. So, with that, there are plenty of chapters of the text of A Course in Miracles yet to go. As we proceed through them, I'm always more than happy to take a pause and to talk about what's coming up for you. So that is an open invitation to all of you. So if you have a topic that is related to A Course in Miracles or spirituality in general, because this is a universally themed and universally applicable self-study curriculum after all, I'd love to hear from you. So yeah, if you've got them, let me know. Because it's very important that we have conversations about what's coming up for you live. So if there's something that's concerning you or something that you have a question about. All right. So Cindy's suggestion is that we talk about the holy instant today. And I also want to tie it to miracles, specifically the following statement. It's the lead off to the text. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. That's chapter 1 of the text. Sentence, paragraph 1, sentence 1. So, why would Jesus lead off with that? Well, I hope over the next few minutes you'll have a much clearer picture of why. So, what is the holy instant, and why does it sometimes seem like it's never going to happen? It seems inaccessible to us here in the world, the holy instant that this course talks about, where we give our entire experience over to the Holy Spirit, our inner teacher, and join with him. So automatically, it seems to us as though this has to be big and huge, that in order to experience what the Course refers to as the holy instant, we have to have some giant flash of light or an illumination experience, something totally transcendental beyond words that lifts us up and exalts us, and we cannot actually describe. We think it's got to be huge and giant, and therefore we think it will never happen for us because we may not be feeling at the time huge, giant, or even competent. This conversation is for those days where it feels like none of this is working. And again, the invitation, keep going. Because in truth, what we discover here, and if you've not yet, then let me just tell you in the hopes that you'll discover the truth of this for yourself. The holy instant is accessible to all of us. We can all give our entire experience, and by that, I do mean everything, every aspect of our experience over to our inner teacher. We can all join with the Holy Spirit, with Jesus. I mean, call the Holy Spirit your inner teacher, whatever you want to call it. We can all join with our guide right here, right now. Can we? We can. Now, will that induce a blinding flash of light and transportation beyond space and time? Well, maybe, and maybe not. Whatever happens, or shall we say, appears to happen as a result of joining willingly, right now, right here, joining with the Holy Spirit. Whatever appears to happen is not actually the point. The point is consciously giving everything over in our mind. Remember that A Course in Miracles is a course in mind training. So, what happens to us when we don't have a blinding flash of light is, well, we may read about or hear about people that do, because, of course, it does happen. And we indulge in this all too common ego trick of comparative reality, which, of course, is not reality at all. But let's use that term because it's common. We compare ourselves to somebody who has had a light experience or something transcendental. They've had what this course refers to as revelation, where you experience our oneness with God. If someone has had that, then okay, they've had that. How does that make you less than them? Because you have not. Here's something that we should all consider. Who's to say that at some point you have not had that experience? It could have been in a completely different lifetime. So, something that may be mind blowing to you, or perhaps not. Perhaps it's an idea that you've heard enough to have it make some sort of sense here, is that all of these apparent lifetimes are not linear. Oh, we describe them as linear. We think, okay, I was so and so in a past life. Or maybe you don't even go in for that at all. And if you don't, that's fine. I mean, if the idea of multiple lifetimes helps you, great. If it doesn't help you, don't worry about it. That's all right. You can still do this course right here, right now. Just take this current lifetime. That's quite enough for us to work with, isn't it? So it's all actually happening apparently. It is appearing to happen at once. Who's to say that in another dream existence you have not had a revelation experience? Who's to say that you have not taught this course? Who's to say that you have not had a direct experience of our oneness with God? Who's to say you have not? Personally, I'm rather inclined to believe that you have, because here you are interested in practicing A Course in Miracles in this lifetime. You've had something happen. So who's to say? My point in all of this is that It's very unkind of us to judge ourselves right here, right now, because we're not having the same experience as our brother. Who's to say we have not? And who's to say that we're any less than he is or that she is? There is no separation of any kind, remember. How can we be less than anyone? There is no hierarchy. Nobody's superior to someone else, nor are they inferior. The holy instant is accessible to all of us. We can all choose to join with our inner teacher right now. So, in this sense, the holy instant is exactly the same whether you're doing it right now and you don't have a revelation or a blinding flash of light, or if someone does it right now and they do. The point is that you're giving your experience over to your inner teacher and you're learning to relax and trust in his guidance. There's no difference in any way in your holy instant as compared to someone else's holy instant. There's no difference between them. So we can see how our tendency to compare ourselves to others does not help us. In fact, it doesn't help us at all on the spiritual path because it's all about joining. It's all about accepting and experiencing our essential oneness. So let's return here to the opening statement of chapter 1 of the text. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is just like any other. Someone's holy instant in which they experience a revelation and a blinding flash of light is no different than your giving the holy instant over to your inner teacher and experiencing one in and out breath of peace, for example. Maybe a slight de stressing in an otherwise busy and hectic day. A tranquil mind is not a little gift. That's an oft quoted passage from this course. And wow, is that ever true? One miracle is just like any other. We see this, don't we, in the context of our true forgiveness. There may be somebody that you know, maybe your spouse, or maybe your friend or neighbor, or a family member that is able to forgive everything and everyone, including nasty historical dictators who did bad things to people. And the ego itself and space and time and everything. And you may be comparing yourself to this person because you don't find yourself currently able to do something like that. Start where you are. Forgive yourself for dreaming this. I mean, forgive something that seems small. If it seems small, no problem. Forgive a passing cloud for obscuring the sun. Forgive yourself for spilling coffee on your white pants in the morning. Forgive yourself for stubbing your toe. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. The forgiving the toe stubbing is the same as forgiving every historical dictator that has ever appeared to be here and all of the stuff that they perpetrated. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. one is just like any other. They are equally accessible to all of us, and they each have equal power and efficacy. So start with what occurs to you to start with. How do you know? This is where the relationship to our inner teacher comes in and indeed shows itself as paramount. The Holy Spirit will tell you what to do. Our guide, capital G, our inner teacher, has been given to us as part of our mind so that we may relax and trust his guidance. He'll tell us what to do. He'll show us what to do. The holy instant is your giving experience over to your inner teacher. So I invite you not to judge the holy instant as inaccessible and too far off in time. No, right now. That's when it's accessible. It's all we have, after all, right now. I assure you that you can and that you'll be able to give this instant over to your inner teacher. That is the holy instant. It's a joining. We can all do this because we can choose to do it. If you choose not to do it, you still can do it. Truth hasn't gone anywhere because we appear to be dreaming all of this. That's why it's such an important statement that there is no order of difficulty in miracles. We each perform them every day. Anytime we give a moment over to our inner teacher and extend love, which is what we naturally do when we give it over, that's a miracle. The miracles are accessible to all of us. It's any shift from dark to light, any at all, no matter how small it may seem, especially when we compare it to someone else's miracle that may seem so high and mighty and so great and big and grand. They're equally grand. They're equally beneficial and powerful and whole and complete and total and effective and loving, and you get the point. So all of this is simply a way for our inner teacher to invite us to let him in and to keep going. Don't you want to do that? Even if it seems hard today? Because we all have those days where we want to go back to bed. I mean, we do. Of course we do. Of course we do. We've all experienced the sense that this just isn't working. And in comes this voice saying, I can't do this. I can't learn this course. Do you know how many people say that? Everyone that opens it. Everyone. So if you're experiencing this, I hope that you find this inspirational, uplifting, and helpful to you. Because it's common that we would experience a doubt. Of course we do. The ego doubts everything and, well, is willing to fight and challenge everything. All resistance that we feel here and experience is the ego wanting to keep us small to perpetuate itself because it knows, even in the midst of all its confusion, that we can set it aside anytime we want. And of course we can. There will come days where it just doesn't feel like this is working. So when you experience that, forgive, have a holy instant, and take a moment, even if it's just a split second or two, out of your chaotic, hectic, busy schedule and connect with our inner teacher. It's holy instant. Let me wrap up with lessons 361 through 365 of the workbook, which, if you've been through it, you'll know are exactly the same. These are the final 5 lessons in the workbook for students. This holy instant would I share with you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you. Certain that your direction gives me peace. We're speaking to the Holy Spirit here. Let go, relax, and trust. Give it all over. That's a holy instant. It's accessible to you just as it's accessible to someone who may be a famous teacher, who may be having beautiful experiences that seem highly improbable. Well, they all seem highly improbable to us if we're not having them. Nothing exists until you experience it, was something my old Buddhist teacher, Lama Michael Conklin, used to say, and it's true. Once you experience it, wow. And who's to say that you have not experienced something like this somewhere, some place, at some point in what we call time? Again, because you're interested in this material, because you're here studying this course, I'm certain that you have experienced something. You don't just stumble upon this material. God does not choose his channels by accident. There's a reason why you're here. Give this instant over to your inner teacher. Make it holy. And go forth and extend love to everything and everyone. All right. Thank you, as always, for joining me. And I very much appreciate the question. Again, the invitation goes out to everyone. If you have questions or comments, please leave them here. And if you have a particular topic that you would love to see covered here in a video or a series even of videos, please let me know and I'd be happy to work that in. It's very easy to do. And typically what happens is that I'll get a specific request for a topic, and that'll be the next conversation we have here in the series. Several videos appear each week. So thank you to all of you who have recently subscribed. It's a pleasure to have you here. This is the subscription prompt over here. If you've not subscribed and joined us, I'd love to have you do that. Please go ahead and click that and subscribe here. There are several videos each week, and the intention here is to supplement your walk, to supplement your journey here, especially as it relates to A Course in Miracles. Again, it's a universal self-study curriculum. So questions are bound to arise. All right, I'm here if you've got them. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll talk to you soon.